Hi there everyone, welcome back to Cody's Lab, and as you can see, we're back at the mine. Looks like I see some dead plants. Actually, something ate it. Those aren't dead, they're eaten. Yeah, it looks like something came in here and ate them all off. They didn't eat the radishes though. What's up with that? Just like the lettuce. How are these mushrooms doing? Oh my goodness, look how big they are. You see those?
Wow.
Yeah, we need to pick these and take them home with us. Get the light. Yeah, look at that. Alright, so we're in the back of the mine, and we actually got the assays back, and apparently this rock is about 4% lead by weight, which is quite a lot of lead. The stuff that I got silver for Canyon's ring was about 40% lead, so it's not quite that quantity, but it's that's quite a bit of lead. Not very much in the way of any other precious metals, not very profitable, and that's probably why they stopped digging here. They ran into that, they probably assayed it, and found basically nothing. Then they must have decided to leave. Well, what are we going to do to keep the, I think it was probably a mouse. What are we going to do to keep the mice from eating it off? Can we put a door on the mine, you think?
Yeah, but mice are little. You're not really going to be able to seal it off that well.
To be honest, it's probably still in here somewhere, huh?
Can you
hiding in a crack in the wall?
Yeah. Can you get off the plants somehow?
Like, put the plants inside of a tank?
Pretty much.
Oh dear, this is going to be a problem.
Yeah. Well, they were safe when you had the lid on the thing.
Yeah, but I can't grow the plants with the lid on it.
But can you get a taller lid?
Maybe? Maybe a screen?
Yeah.
Well, at any rate, if we're going to be doing any work in the back of the mine, we're going to have to take this all out because the blasting is going to shake things up.
And leave lead powder on your plants.
Exactly, we can't have that. So we're going to have to basically stop this experiment here and then try again.
Alright.
Okay.
They grew though.
They did grow, they're still alive. So I imagine they would work, and mushrooms seem to work pretty well. You know. And you know what? We can't really plant a garden up here either because the soil's got a lot of lead in it.
Will plants absorb the lead? I don't think they will. I think it's mostly just the dust.
But that much lead in the soil.
Good point.
There's just so much. If we do grow anything, we can't grow it in the soil that came from anywhere near the mine.
So you're going to have to bring in dirt and cover it in a greenhouse.
Yep.
Sounds like you have a new project.
Yeah, but if I'm going to do that, I might as well do it back down closer to the ranch so I've actually got water.
Oh, pshaw.
Alright. Well, let's at least take these mushrooms home. Maybe we'll fry them up and eat them.
Sounds good.
Alright, so let's cut these mushrooms up. For starters, I'm going to cut the little tips off. So that's what the recipe said, to trim their stalks. Alright, now I'm going to chop these up into little pieces, approximately an inch or so. Alright, there we go. It's actually quite a lot of mushroom, isn't it? I'm just going to spray on a nice coating of vegetable oil. And then cook them until they turn brown or whatever. Okay, here we go. Let's give these a little taste. They're good. Very meaty. Here, Canyon, try one.
I don't like mushrooms.
You're gonna like this. What do you think? You really don't like it?
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Well, I like it. I need to figure out how to grow my own mushroom starters. And hopefully that'll be in another video, yeah? So I think mushrooms are pretty good. High in protein, lots of vitamins. And perhaps get a type of mushroom that can actually grow in total darkness. I might have to change up the mushrooms I have, but we're definitely on the right track here. As long as the mice don't eat everything. So there's the mine. Now a lot of people have been asking about fossils in the area because this is indeed limestone primarily. You can see there's some horned coral fossils here.
There's some kind of shell or something.
Yeah, it's a mollusk, I think. And I think that's actually a snail in there. Get the camera to focus. I think that's the side view of a crinoid segment. I believe that's another horned coral. I saw some trilobite tracks a while ago. I've never actually found trilobites, but I know they were around. Oh yeah, look at that one. That's a fossil, see? See the shell? Yeah. That's probably actually the part of the shell. The original shell. Here, Kenyon, hold this. Right in here. See that? Those are pieces of the crinoid frond, I think they call them. It's like a little fan. So the crinoid, it was up on a stem with round segments, and then had like petals. So they actually call them sea lilies, because they actually it looked like flowers. And here's actually part of the flower that is preserved. Usually you don't see that, but here's some of the stems. See, the stems are hollow here. Now there's some horned coral right there. Must have been a whole bed of them. They got buried 500 million years ago. See, there's a little snail right there. That's a pretty one, actually. Here's another interesting rock that's actually got layering in it. You can see there's a layer with a lot of shells here. Now, this right here might actually be a storm event that broke up all the shells and then put them out to the deeper water. So you got like a storm event, and then you got calmer periods, and then perhaps another storm. And actually here you can see that it grades upward. So that means the storm started off strong and then it weakened. See right here? Kangen just found a geopetal. This is inside of a shell, you can see, but there's crystals up here at the top, but not at the bottom. Or rather, the crystals tell you where the top was because there was an air bubble inside the shell. And then that air bubble then filled with crystals later on. So that tells you the orientation of the rock as it was laid down. Which tells you that the shell settled out like this. So that's how it was oriented. You now know that this way is up. Interesting. And you see there's some sort of burrow here. See, coming down. So this was once the sea floor here, and then it burrowed into the ground, and then it filled back up with mud. It's cool how you can see these sort of things.
Nerd.
So here's one of those rocks we were hitting, which means that the end of the mine should be right about here. So somewhere around here. The mine comes in and then turns. It ends up about here. So my guess is what they're going for is that layer of rock right up there. You can see it. There's a lot of quartz in it. In fact, here's a piece of it right here. They must have been trying to get to a layer of this. And judging by the way the rocks are dipping, they must have figured that coming into this spot would have had them the best chances of hitting it. So here's a nice solid chunk of rock. And you notice the color of it is lighter. And my guess is that's actually due to geothermal alteration. So it's had hot water going past it, and it basically burned away all the organics that normally makes it the bluish gray. You see here's another rock that was from farther away. You see it's got a darker coloring to it. Okay, so we're up at that quartz vein that I mentioned earlier. Now, this rock here, it also has quartz running through it, but I think these are actually chert beds from like bioturbated limestone as it was being deposited, and then some of the limestone got redissolved and replaced with chert. This is actually something that happened a very long time ago, but this stuff, you notice, is a lot lighter in color. It's got a little bit more orange in it. It's got, basically this is from minerals moving through the rock. So there was a crack in the rock, and you had hydrothermal hot water going through it. So this is much more recent. This might have actually happened after the crust started extending and you got the basin and range forming. So that means this rock's probably less than 20 million years old. And my guess is that the old prospectors found this, decided that the gold was getting richer as they went down, and wanted to get underneath of it, so they dug the mine to try to get up underneath of it at a lower elevation. So that's my guesses. There is a mine up there. Some of you have noted that there was orange soil, and I know about it. In fact, that's actually on this property. So let's go look at that.
Okay.
Alright, so here we are. The orange soil down there. Yeah. And there is a mine here. It goes down not that far, maybe 20 feet total. And the funny thing is, I actually fell down this mine shaft once. I was walking around and there was snow covering it. And I walked across the snow and shunk right to the bottom. But it's not that deep and I was able to climb out pretty easily. But I definitely think this is part of the same hydrothermal system that is attached to that one that we ran into inside the mine. Now I think what happened, the old prospectors, and I think they actually dug this hole first, decided it wasn't getting very strong, or rather that it was getting slightly stronger as they got deeper, and they decided to move down to a lower location so they could get through it lower without having to dig a tremendously long shaft. So I think that's exactly what happened. So this mine was dug first and then that one down there. Well, let me have the camera. I'm going to go hike down in here. Alright, so here we are inside the mine. See the floor down there? It's got a lot of rubble and stuff, so there's a drill rod there apparently. And you can see the actual hydrothermal vent is coming up like this, right there. Now, I have never gotten a complete assay on this, so it'd be nice to get a complete assay done on it to see how much of the platinum group metals there are, because usually like a gold-silver assay is not going to show the platinum group metals. So it'd be interesting to see that. Maybe it's a platinum mine rather than anything else, right? No, I could use a rock or something.
Do you have one?
No.
Should I throw one down to you?
It's fine. Alright, so here we are. I'm standing on the bottom, as you can see. I have very fond memories of this hole. Mostly being totally scared to... Yeah, here it is, little cave. It's not super deep or anything. See, this is about the size of hole that I need to be able to be drilling. So then I could actually get some more explosives down it. So unfortunately, that's all the mining footage I have for this weekend. We just ran out of time. I wanted to film more and actually have this video like have a second half to it like I've done previous videos, but it just didn't happen. Next weekend though, I hope to get out there and actually do a little bit of actual mining. I want to get some ore out of there. Probably not process it just yet. I want to actually process it for one of the videos in the precious metal refining series. Another series that I've been doing, dropping things into boiling oil. The latest one, which was dropping a can of liquid oxygen into the burning oil. Well, look what I just found. Well, several hours ago, I guess. But this is the can. See how it's all bulged out from the pressure just before it took off at Mach 1. Kangen was actually standing inside the barn looking out a window at the thing, and she said that she thought it actually hit the top of the barn because she could hear it hit the roof. And so I went up there today and I looked in the gutter, and sure enough, there it was. So it's pretty cool. I normally don't find things after they've shot off into space. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you next time.